Hello and welcome, you're listening to Metal Verbalizers and I am Johan. Today I will verbalize Kask again. Before we will start the episode, I would like to clarify something. The reason why we're doing another episode about Kask. And that is because we have some more information now that we didn't before when we did the last episode. The last episode is mainly based on my assumptions about the band. But this episode is mainly based on things that the band have actually explained. So with that being said, let's start. Kasck is a thrash metal band from India that was formed before 2017, but took a break from 2017 to 2019. It was in 2019 that the frontman moved to Pune, which is also where the band is currently based. When the band had finished writing their debut EP, that's when COVID happened. So it was some really terrible timing. During this time, the band released 2 singles. And when the worst part of COVID was over and the restrictions were kind of eased, the band finished the EP, which is titled Deal with the Devil. I really love this EP personally. If you want, it's kind of like if you want some great, straight to the point thrash, this is definitely a must listen in my opinion. Kasck is of course a band that really likes and has thrash metal bands as major influences. For example, the biggest influence of Kasck in general is Metallica. Not only as a band, but also Metallica was also the reason why the members of Kasck started playing instruments in the first place. So like Metallica is a major influence both for the band as a whole, but also for the members individually, so to speak. The band is also really influenced by thrash metal bands such as, it's like Slayer, Exodus, Havoc, Creator, Power Trip, Suicidal Angels, Warbringer, etc. The list goes on, but I think you kind of get the idea. But Kasck's influences are not limited to only thrash metal. They're also influenced by bands like more classic metal stuff, if you will, like Judas Priest and Black Sabbath, as well as other types of like classic rock, and even like blues and country music to some extent. And like I would kind of say like if you like bands such as Havoc, Creator, Sepultura, etc. And I would also like to mention Municipal Waste actually here. But if you like any of these bands or like any of those like styles, it's a very big chance that you will like Kasck. And in that case, I highly recommend them. I really like the idea behind Kasck's logo. It is basically, old school, and it's easy to read, but still, managed to look really metal. When I see the logo, I'm like immediately thinking about serious thrash. And the album art to the EP, Deal with the Devil, by the way, is also really great in my opinion. I really love that album art. Like the whole, like how it looks, but also like the whole idea behind it. It's like the album art, the way I understand it, is supposed to be like a metaphor that a man is like sitting and dealing with a reaper, but doing it really calmly, which is shown by him like calmly drinking a cup of coffee. Like most people would be afraid of doing this, and he should be, but he's not. Instead, like the way I see it is like he chooses to face the Reaper, which is I suppose like supposed to symbolize his thoughts and fears. It's like the man is choosing to face his fears head on, you know. And like when you look at it that way, it definitely, you know, interests me. And this is something that I believe I've mentioned many times before, but I will mention it a little quick again anyway. And that is that I really prefer these types of album art. You know, the album art that has a little like deeper meaning, so to speak. And it's kind of like the way I would like summarize it is simple but meaningful. That's the way I would summarize it. That's the type of album arts that I really, really like. Like, I'm not a big even if I can actually come up with examples immediately of album arts that is like a little bit more messy, that I like a lot and think are great album art, but it's not really the kind of like type of style that I generally would prefer. For example, you know, Kasck's album art for Deal with the Devil, that is something I really, really like. So you know, like basically that. Definitely the album art is amazing, is basically what I'm trying to say. When it comes to the lyrics, they mostly deal with subjects such as thoughts, fears, passions, desires, etc. And a lot from like an individual's perspective. Also how these things can affect your thought process and how it can affect like your personality. For like an example would be the song Death to the Crooked, which is basically an anti-authoritarian song. When it comes to the future of Kask, the band's plan is to play live as much as possible in as many places as possible. And like if any promoters / organizers would hear this, or if you know of anybody who is, then Kask would be really interested to play in your city, and would love for you to contact them at kaskband@gmail.com. The band's email address that I just said will also be available in the description for a little convenience. The band has also started to work on their debut full-length album, which is something I'm personally very excited about. They have not announced it or said anything else about like any more like details about the album. They have only said to me that they are currently working on the next album. So we don't know what or when, but it's simply something that we're gonna have to keep our eyes open for, and I highly encourage you to do that, to keep your eyes open for that full length, because I have a very big feeling that it's going to be very, very good. So that's something I'm very excited for. I would also like to end with a message from Kask to us, and that is quote, "Thank you very much for having us for the interview. We truly appreciate you giving our EP a listen and giving us the chance to be on your portal. People / organizations such as yourself. Metal community is better because we have people like you. Anyone reading this, do give our EP a spin. You won't be disappointed. Heavy metal rules." End quote. Well, what can I say? Thank you so much for this message, and we truly enjoy making these episodes, and it is a pleasure to support bands like Kask. Also, I can't agree more that you absolutely should give Kasck's EP a spin, and of course, heavy metal does indeed rule. With that being said, I believe that it's time to wrap this up. I appreciate you listening, and if you like this episode, then make sure to follow us at Metal Verbalizers, and we will make sure to keep giving you more episodes like this one. If this episode will result in you checking this band out, then please tag us and let us know. We would appreciate it a lot, and it's a great way to both support us, but also, of course, the bands that we're talking about. We will be back to you next week with another verbalization.